here. Okay. Well, so let's continue. So for assessment, as you already know that you have to assess your model. So in order to assess your model, the key behind is to have unseen data. Okay, so the point is you need to have unseen data, right? But if you use the data set for the whole data set for training, then it would be difficult to have unseen data. Why we're looking for unseen data? Because it can truly reflect the performance of the model. If I'm using seen data, which is the training data set, then it may not give me an indication how good the model is or how bad, because the model may have memorized the data. Remember, like the case in overfitting. So we need to ensure that the model is truly assessing or showing good assessment. Okay, so we need to have unseen data. So the procedure is we need to take our data set, the whole data set, then divide into test data set and training data set. So you have two sections, right? And remember, this testing data set is the unseen data set, and you keep it until the last stage, right? Before the last stage of launching your product, where you go to the evaluation phase. So this is under evaluation phase in CRISP DM, right? So I'm talking about CRISP DM. Well, then we are left with the training data set. But the problem, if we use training data set, and as we don't have the test set until the last stage of your model, then how we can assess the model in the meantime? So this is why we're going to see later we need to have a validation set. Okay, so again, why we need the testing set? To ensure that the model, to have a good anticipation about the model performance when you launch your model into the production. Okay, because this is going to be unseen data, and future data is also unseen. So testing set can serve the purpose to give us an indication how the model is going to perform once I launch the product into the final stage, deploy it into the user. Okay. So as we said, we split data into training and test. The error rate when applying the model to the unseen data is referred as generalization error. Okay, so this is generalization error or out of sample error. Why it's called generalization? Because you want to generalize your model to the future data. You need to see how your model is going to perform in the future. So this error is going to be a good indication how your model in the future is going to behave. Okay, so we call it generalization error. Generalization refers to the ability of trained model to perform well, again, on unseen or new data. Okay, so this is the concept behind having unseen data. As I said, if you just read tutorial on the internet, they may not be so accurate in showing you how the process is supposed to be, because many times you will see that they are using test set during training time. But remember, if you use test set during training time, you are overfitting your test set. Okay, and that eventually may not give you a good indication how your model is going to be in future. You're just trying to modify every time your model in order to show good performance on the test set, right? So eventually, you don't know whether future data, I mean your model for future data is going still to preserve the same performance or not.